It has begun!
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are once again, doing some beta testing here. First off, welcome to A Star is Born um, podcast. And this is, I think, our second time that we're doing YouTube Live. But we just got done doing a different podcast on Facebook Live, testing that out and whatnot. But give me 2 seconds. I'm going to go live on our recording. So here's what we got. So we're going to go live on recording here. So give me 2 seconds. All right. All right. Welcome, everybody, to A Star is Born podcast. Welcome back for those of you who are continually listening, and welcome to those for the first time listening to our podcast. My name is Glenn Spillman, and of course, always with me is Carl O'Leary, and we have a
this guy.
Guest in our. Pop your face in here, Quentin.
What's your name, sir?
This is Quentin right here, or there's Prairie Dog right there, and today we are going to
Get in here, Quentin. What do you think I'm doing here? Quentin Harris. There we go. I did.
Quentin likes to hide in his little hole.
Yeah.
We do, as those of you who are familiar with us, we always do a film review before we do our podcast. That could be any film from any genre from any year, but just to let you guys know the subject matter of today's podcast. It's very important. Now, we've got a few podcasts up now. To let you know, every month, just like clockwork, our podcast will drop on the 15th and 30th of every month. But this being, but in February, it's going to be the 28th. But you will know every single month is going to pop down on those dates. So we cover many different aspects of the entertainment business as far as acting, casting, all this kind of stuff, all different subject matters.
All the shite.
Yeah. So today's podcast, how to find the right people to work with, is very, 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 very important, because working with the wrong people can really F up your production that quick. So you want to find them, and you're going to be surprised on some of the things that I tell you guys within this podcast. But today we're going on, and the way we do our podcast, for those of you just tuning in, we're chill. We don't have scripted, we might have bullet points or notes or whatnot, but we're not regimented, we're not scripted. We don't have a way of doing things, if you will. But I will say that it's organic, if you will.
Yeah. Just three dudes in a basement and a sex dungeon. No big deal.
Yeah, there you go. And that's what it looks like, and that's maybe what it is. But we're gonna do, and when it comes to film reviews or critiquing or whatnot, we all have our own different ways of critiquing a film, and we do not use the cookie cutter realm of regimented. It's like when Carl gives a review on a film, he comes at you from his mind, his spirit, his soul, whatever that you want to say. He gives, opinions here and there and whatnot, but it's not a Siskel and Ebert type of regimented BS. I mean, we really come at you organically, if you will. But Carl, and again, unless he already has thought about it, he hasn't thought about what he's going to review. So, and again, this is kind of like off the cuff.
I have no idea.
Now, a lot of times we do. Hey, man, next week we're going to talk about Friday the 13th, or we're going to talk about maybe something that's just whatever. But I'm going to turn it over to Carl here, and he's going to blast you with some knowledge.
I'm going to blast you with some knowledge. I don't even know what I'm blasting you with, but we're going to blast it together. Well, what should we talk about? I mean, this is
All right, let's talk about this.
how about horror movies?
There you
That
go.
is a perfect topic.
Not horror, ladies and gentlemen, horror
Movies, if you will, and what makes them so interesting.
Yeah.
And we can kind of just jump back and forth and see, what each person thinks about it.
Yeah.
I would say let's go with that.
Yeah. So let me ask you this, Carl.
Yes.
I want you to dive into your brain for a second. I want you to dissect those little crevices. And I want you to tell me from the first remembrance, what is the first horror movie that you remember watching?
Oh, Jesus Christ. I mean, I've seen so many horror movies over the times, but ones that typically stick out are the biggest ones are Jason and Freddy.
Uh-huh.
But I've seen other horror movies too, like, Night of the Living Dead and stuff like that. I remember seeing something that was so horrific. And I think I was pretty young when I saw it too. But a guy was being ripped apart and all his organs and everything were splayed out and just dragged across the entire set. They were like just pretty much displaying all his inner organs everywhere. And blood and pus and anything you can imagine. Bile was shooting out of the guy. I thought it was disgusting and awesome at the exact same time. But it was also if we went off of like my favorite, it'd have to be the Jason or Freddy movies.
Okay. All right. So what's the first, either one of those, what's the first one that you remember watching?
Which one did I watch first? Jason or did I watch Freddy? I'm not 100% sure which one I hit first. It could have been Freddy. It could have been Jason.
Okay, which Freddy movie did you watch?
Well, I've seen them all.
What's the first one?
The first time I watched Freddy Krueger, if I'm looking back into my brain far enough, it probably was like the later versions.
Okay.
It could have been, you know what, though? It could have been the original, the very first one.
All
It's
right.
hard to say. It's such a distant memory. Either way, all fantastic films.
How did it make you feel when you first watched it?
I thought it was cool. I was young,
Mm-hmm.
and I liked the whole imaginary aspect of going to the dream world and doing all these fantastic imaginary ideas, being in a set that just doesn't look like anything like reality, and you're playing off of an idea where you're in the dream world, totally fictional, and you're being chased by Freddy. That whole thing I've never really seen before, done on that kind of scale, and I was extremely impressed. And I was like immediately a fan. Immediately a fan, because it was just like something I've never seen before in horror. Probably the coolest concept.
Excuse me. So let me ask you this.
Yeah.
Do you dream?
Of course.
Have you ever had a nightmare?
Of course.
Did it seem real to you?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Now, do you think, now we're kind of diving into like, the paranormal realm and all this, but I am a personal believer of dreams have a meaning.
Yeah.
And like when you have sometimes those deja vus, I feel that you've been there before, you lived it before, maybe you dreamed it before, and it's happening in real life.
Yeah.
Or maybe it could be a parallel universe, all this kind of stuff. So in a nightmare, and it was real to you.
Yeah.
Do you think that they say now the scientists and psychologists have said that if, say in a dream, say if you're falling, and you don't wake up and you fall and hit the ground and you die, that you die in your sleep and you die in real life. So do you think that maybe
there's some truth to that?
There's some truth to that,
Well,
yeah.
That because I actually had a dream when I was a kid. For some strange reason, I was playing tetherball and I was smacking that thing around and around and around. And I guess I wanted to be really good at tetherball when I was younger, apparently.
Right.
It caught my hand and threw me around the tetherball ring.
Oh.
And this thing grew in size. The pole went way up several stories in the sky. Before you know it, it's like reaching God practically. And I'm up there with it. on the top of the pole. How I got there, I don't know. I think it just swung me around until I wrapped around to the top.
Right.
And that was almost like a Freddy Krueger nightmare right there, right?
Right.
Freddy wasn't around, but I fell. I lost my balance and I fell from there. And it felt like I was really falling. I could feel the wind hitting my face and everything. I was soaring.
Right.
And just before I hit the ground, I woke up. So I can't say whether or not it's true or not because I never really experienced death, as and like experienced death and then woke up later to talk about it. It's like if it's something that extreme, I wake up before I hit.
Were you like breathing heavy? Did you gasp for air?
Yes.
Was the heart beating fast?
My heart was breathing hella fast. I was sweaty. I was nervous. I was shaky. I was like, what just happened? Kind of thing. I was like, that was just a dream because it was very visceral. I felt all the sensations, the wind hitting my body and everything, my hair flapping in the wind, my clothes. Super real. Very scary. Strange. I know. Tetherball out of all things. But that's just one example, I've had dreams like that. I've had ones that are really weird where I ripped all my skin off. And it was just me underneath. Like I literally just ripped, I just ripped my whole face off, pulled my, almost like the Ted and the Bill and Ted Bogus Journey where they take their face off and they pull their robot skulls through.
Right.
I kind of did that thing, ripped off my whole body, my skin, everything. And it was still just me. It wasn't anything special. I was like, of course I'm waking up and I'm like, what the was that about? It was just a really weird dream. So I've had some strange dreams and I've had some just regular, very basic, but odd, like the tetherball incident.
Right.
They were just like, why did I have this as a nightmare? And, I don't know.
When we were filming Hush Little Baby, back in the day, the actor Blake Borders, his mom and dad were there on the set, and his mom Heather, we were talking one day, and we were talking about Freddy Krueger and Nightmare on Elm Street. She's like, and she was telling me this story, and there was really this guy. And he really did do the things that were being said. So when I watch horror movies like Nightmare on Elm Street, I think that there's a lot of truth within that movie. There's subliminal messages here and there. There's the the dream, the fear of sleep, the wanting to stay up because you don't want to have that dream again. Have you ever had a dream and woke up? Oh, what the hell? 5-10 minutes later, you fall back asleep and immediately pick up where you left off in the same dream. Yeah.
Not always, but yes, I have.
So I think when I watched the first one, I felt, oh man, I felt that way, or I've dreamt maybe not about Freddy, but maybe someone like him. And so I think that with that movie and everything, I mean, and then I've also done studies with the behind the scenes stuff and things that happen during the movie, little shenanigans that happen on set that were like a little spooky. And I mean, I remember I've seen an interview with Robert Englund that the first time that he saw himself in the mirror, as Freddy, he forgot that he had makeup on. Yeah. And when he looked in the mirror, it scared the shit out of him. And but he took on, when you take on a persona of an actor takes on a persona of a character, there's some piece, whether you're a method actor or not, there's some piece of that character that attaches itself to you.
Yeah, I'm not a method actor, but when I look at myself and I'm wearing makeup and stuff, and I look different than who I am, something happens to me. I transform my voice, I transform my posture. Suddenly I'm a different character, and I can totally just imagine myself being that character. And I just go to it and I play with it. It's just so much more natural when you have a costume and makeup.
Yeah. So I really liked I absolutely, you and I had this conversation multiple times. If you had to pick your favorite character just between Freddy and Jason,
okay,
who would it be and why?
Yeah, that's the because I like both characters
Yeah.
almost equally
Yeah.
for different reasons. To say to pick one would mean that I'm siding with one or the other.
Right.
I like Freddy. I like his. I don't necessarily like what he does, but I like his personality as the entity that he is, the
Right.
creation. And Jason is the same thing, you know. The reason I like Jason is because he's powerful. He doesn't take crap from anyone. He's smart. He kind of impresses people or catches them off guard. They don't expect that from this big guy. I think he's a big dumb idiot. He's not, and he'll catch you off guard and take you out. I think that's the thing I liked about him, and he doesn't take crap from anybody.
Right.
That's the aspect I like about Jason, and he will always stop at nothing to take you out if you cross that road.
Right.
Freddy, he uses the dream world, which I think is cool, and he has this ability to kind of project your own nightmares into the dream, so that you experience your own nightmare through his eyes and your eyes, and then he sort of tortures you with it. I'm not saying I'm like, I'm not one of those people that want to torture people, but I think what I like about it is that it's so creative and that it's imaginative, and it goes to this make-believe world that they use your own nightmares against you. I like that aspect.
Yeah. And your fears against you. Yeah.
The concepts they're different, but I like them equally almost. So to pick one or the other is hard for me. I'm like, I like them both as if they were like side by side.
Okay.
It's hard for me to go, oh, Jason, oh, Freddy.
Well, I will agree. I will agree with you 100%. Yeah. And I'm on board with you. I'm on the same boat with you. I'm paddling in the same boat as you.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you why I like both of them.
Yeah.
I like. I would give a slight edge, just 1 inch, to Jason, and I'll tell you why.
Okay.
Because Jason was a victim. Mm-hmm. Think about it. He was a victim of neglect. Yeah. He was a victim of bullying. Yeah. He was a victim of mental torture. Mm-hmm. He was an innocent kid.
Right.
And he died at the hands of people who didn't care, who was laughing at him, and this, that, and the other. So he was a victim. So he seeks revenge against the people that were involved into that, and people like them. So he thinks of, if a boy and a girl are together and they're being intimate, they're not paying attention to the other students or the campers or whatever, the kids. Mm-hmm. So I need to go kill them because they're bad. And if you notice Jason, when he goes in the little cabin where all the kids are, when he walks in there, he doesn't kill any of the kids. So there's a compassion point there. He's killing the people that I feel deserve it. Now, on the flip side of that, you have Freddy Krueger, who sought out victims. Yeah. He was the naughty one who did naughty things with kids and kills them. So he died at his own. He picked the road to travel, and he died for doing things that most people would kill another person for. The vigilante style. So he's pissed off, and he's like, you know what, MFers, I'm going to freaking go after your kids now. So the kids are being punished for the sins of their parents. So Freddy's, he wants all the souls. He feeds off the souls. Every soul that he gets, he makes him more powerful, more powerful. He seeks that power. He lusts that power. And nothing satiates this guy. And another reason why I like him, because he's funny.
Yeah, that's
he does little, like when the girl head went into the TV, he's like, "Welcome to prime time, bitch."
Right.
And he says funny little, quirky little lines. He's entertaining. Yeah. So I like them both. They both have their.
I think that's really what attracts me to Freddy too the most. Is that he's funny. He's an engaging character.
Yeah, for sure.
You want to watch him, despite him being just rapist, psychopath, homicidal person. With the nightmare powers, you still want to see him because he's almost charismatic.
Right.
And he's just fun to watch. He makes good jokes. it's like an adventurous thing, even though it's like it's almost like a forbidden thing you shouldn't be watching because you're a young kid or you're a teenager, whatever
Right.
the case.
Yeah.
Generally, that's what it is.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like you got this, oh, I'm doing something naughty and I can have some fun and no one can stop me kind of thing because you're not being watched by anyone, your parents or whatever.
Right. Hey,
I'm not condoning it or anything. I'm just saying,
How many times? I mean, I remember growing up, and when I got home from school, my dad was at work. He never got home until like 5:30 to 5:45 ish, and my mom worked, and she got home later on in the afternoon. So when I got home from school, I was by myself. So when I would always hang out at my friend Leaf's house after school because his dad was a businessman, and he was always gone for like a week or two at a time. So we were home alone. So that's where I got introduced to these guys. Is he was a horror fanatic, and Leaf is the one who introduced me to horror. And I attribute my love of horror to him. And so when I watched, the Freddys and the Jasons and all that, I really got attached to them.
Yeah.
I thought of them as I wanted them to be my friend, because as a kid, I mean, dude, I'm like 14.
Creepy, but I get
Yeah. I'm 14 years old. I felt comfortable with their characters because that's a whole podcast in itself, but I just felt comfortable with them. So anybody who is into horror or wants to get into, like Quentin, for instance, we talked to him earlier today.
That would be this guy over here.
That would be.
Say hi, Quentin, again. He's still here, guys.
He's sleeping, but he's taking a little.
Wake him up from his nap every now and then.
Kids got me up.
So he's like, yeah, I'm really not into horror. But you know what? The very first film that I did, Hush Little Baby, Quentin was the PA on, and Hush Little Baby is 100% a horror film. Quentin's jam is more like action movies and whatnot. But anyway.
And I also like mystical movies, so I must like one of those.
Horror, my friends, if you want to dive into that, go into some of the, and I say classics, like
Frankenstein.
No, not Frankenstein.
No,
Nightmare on Elm Street, the first one.
yes.
Friday the 13th, the first one for sure.
Chucky.
Watch some more films.
You can dive back a few years earlier, John Carpenter's Halloween.
Yeah.
And because they're not
Michael Myers, baby.
They're not as bloody. So like Terrifier. If you would, initiate your first horror movie to be Terrifier, well, that's kind of going way out in left field into the atmosphere.
That's a gory movie
of horror. Yeah, people have got up vomiting walking out of the movie theater because of that.
It is a brutally violent, graphic movie.
Yeah, and it
just
gets
be prepared.
More and more. So I would say if you want to taste some horror, taste them like maybe if you're like into
samples of horror.
If you're into slasher films, the first three that I said. If you're into vampires, I would go Fright Night.
Yeah,
Fright Night, the 80s. I think it's 1985.
The original and the new.
Yeah, so with Colin Farrell.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So I do Fright Night. If you're into zombies,
Underworld. Yeah.
I would definitely do George Romero's Dawn of the Dead.
Hell yeah.
Or if you want to jump back to like the first realm of zombies, you can do the 1968 Night of the Living Dead.
And some people may not even think of this as horror, but it's technically the video game genre as Resident Evil.
Oh yeah, Resident Evil.
And it doesn't exactly go by the video games per se. It kind of has its own story to tell, but I still like it. I still like the Resident Evil franchise. Yeah,
so dive into that kind of stuff and do that. So usually when Carl does a movie review, we'll say on one of our podcasts he did Beetlejuice. He will break down some of the characters that were in the movie, a little bit of the story of the movie. He'll go into how much it cost, how much they made. So he goes into more detail. Again, folks, today is more off the cuff.
We're chilling.
Kind of chilling. We're just talking about film. And so all of these movies you have to. One little nugget here. One little nugget. Speaking of Freddy Krueger, Robert Englund got his film movie date, if you will, in Halloween, John Carpenter's Halloween. He was one of the people that spread the leaves all over the sidewalk when Laura was walking down the sidewalk with her school friend, and he saw Michael by the hedge. He put all the leaves there, and then he had to pick them up, put them in a bag, and then
I did not know that.
Spread them to the next, scene. So those were all leaves that they were picked up, put in a bag, and that's what Robert Englund did. So little nuggets here and there. And
I thought his debut was V when he did the series V.
Oh yeah, that was a good series. Yeah, and one of the other films, if you look at the different type of, I'll always see Robert Englund as Freddy Krueger.
Yeah.
And when you think of Kane Hodder, you're always going to think
Jason
Voorhees. Well, I saw Robert Englund. He played a art purveyor, if you will, in the Wishmaster.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, in Wishmaster. So so that was a cool movie by itself.
That was a trip.
But anyway, so we're going to dive into the podcast subject matter, because I can talk about these movies all day long.
Oh yeah.
How to find the right people to work with. So if you are like Carl and I, we are excuse me, actors as well as filmmakers. And I'm also a writer and a director, a producer. I kind of the whole hodgepodge smorgasbord of things, because as independent filmmakers, sometimes you don't have the luxury of having all of these entities. So if you listen to another podcast that we did, it's called Skeleton Crew, you'll understand. Excuse me, you'll understand why. So Quentin, he's starting out. He's written a few things, and he's worked on a few projects. And
I actually just did my project last year called The Night Stroll, which is in the editing bay right now.
Hold on.
I actually had my directorial debut last year on the film that I wrote. It's called The Night Stroll, and I can tell you right now, like casting the right people, like what Glenn Spellman just said about casting the right people. It depends on if you want a person who's nice, cute, like if you need a woman who is cute, ditzy, but no one to switch her personality. For me, what I do is I do what is called self tapes. I'll send a person some sides just to carry some notes about what I'm looking for, and like, hey, can you do this with this? And so, but I didn't need that time, but I just need a woman who can play a lawyer. And the woman who actually having the night show, she happens to be working in the lawyer's office, so she knows how to turn that on.
Nice. Quentin makes a very good point, ladies and gentlemen. But I will also ask him, it's a yes or no question. Did you enjoy or like or appreciate everyone that you worked with?
Oh yeah, oh my god! Like,
okay, so he gave a very good answer. On me, on the other hand, this is why I wrote this podcast subject matter, and because I've had questions, I haven't. And Carl is going to tell you a story about Don. Can I say his name?
Don't say his name.
Okay, I won't say his name, but he worked with a famous actor that's been in a lot of famous movies, and he's going to tell a story about that. So when you're looking for the right people, like for a writing partner, see, Carl's my writing partner, and we mesh well together.
Yeah.
And so when you look for people, you have to know that you are creating a film from start to finish, from conception to birth, to growth, to end. And you have to be cohesive, hopefully, with everyone you work with. And you need to find these people for many reasons. I'm not talking about just getting along with them, because you don't have to. Absolutely not. You do not have to get along. So if Carl and I were in a scene together, and we didn't get along. Well, we're going to be professional. We're going to act in that scene, and then when the director calls cut, we're going to walk our separate ways, go do our own thing, come back together. I've done that with a few people that I've worked with before that I just didn't like. You're not going to get along with everybody. I'm talking about writing, production team, all that kind of stuff. So when you find the right collaborators in the entertainment industry, so do your research. Go to IMDb. Now, not everyone has an IMDb, but go to IMDb with a active. Now, IMDb is an active network for film festivals, mixers, platforms used like I said before, LinkedIn. You can identify potential partners. You analyze their credits of similar type projects. So I do horror. Carl does horror with me. We're not going to find someone that's into rom-com or maybe Quentin, he likes action movies, but he doesn't like blood and guts. And there's this actor that I'm casting for a film right now that Carl and I wrote, a series that we wrote. And he goes, I don't like X, Y, and Z. Well, X, Y, and Z is a huge part of this film. It's a horror film. This isn't Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood, So then if you want to, you can look at references, like maybe talk to someone that they worked with. So maybe someone might say, oh, dude, if you work with this person, they're going to be very demanding. They're going to want to change the script if they don't like the dialogue. Well, as a writer, I don't want someone to change what I wrote, because what I write has a meaning. But if they say, you know what, I really don't like the word, the C word. Can I use maybe a different word? I could say, well, there's a reason why I'm using that word. But if I say, oh, yeah, I don't care. Yeah, that's just a word I like. And yeah, you could use, a different word if you like, but bring the same message, basically the same impact to it.
The other C word.
Yeah.
That's CS.
So make sure that you have shared creative goals and professional reliability. So when Carl and I wrote this series, we have the same creative mindset, the same goal in mind to do this. So here's some key strategies for finding talent and collaborators. So it's kind of like what Quentin said, maybe he wants a certain way they act, or maybe he just likes their look, or he likes the way they deliver something, because, a screen test is basically that. You're not showcasing your acting abilities all the way, because you're not knowing what the character is, who the character is, what the background is. Do they like chocolate ice cream? Do they smoke? All this kind of stuff. So, but once you get accepted and cast as that character, then you can start developing. That's when all the magic happens. I personally think. Utilize industry databases, like I just said. IMDb Pro. There's IMDb and IMDb Pro. IMDb Pro, you pay for that. So as a casting director and a writer, I can get on IMDb Pro and I can type in Kane Hodder and I get his personal information. I get his email, I get his phone number, I get his agent's phone number, so I could reach out to the agent. And that's how I found certain people throughout the past 10 years is through IMDb Pro. It's a very easy avenue to take. So, and then you could also track industry trends. But when it comes to industry trends, I don't follow those because I don't care. And I'll tell you why. A lot of people out there do not like horror. So if I go to a small town and I want to film a horror, they may not want me there because you got a bunch of, people who we'll just say religious, and that's not their jam. So they don't like the blood and guts. They don't want us in their town. So that might be a troubling thing. Look at film festivals. Go to film festivals, even if you're not part of, like we got the Sacramento Film Festival here. Go there, because what do you do when you go to an event?
Well, you meet people.
You
make
meet people.
connections,
You
and
meet
find people
connections.
you can work with.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, Carl said you're going to meet at least one person. You'll meet 50 to 100 people, but you'll connect with one or
Yeah,
two.
you connected with Sassy through a 24-hour film.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, it wasn't like one of the scripts wasn't fully written out or everything. It was just kind of flying off the cusp because it was, 24 hours you had to produce it. But I met her for like the first time and kind of got to know who she was. And that started a relationship in a way that we started to develop into more of a friendship.
Right.
And over time, I'd see her in different stuff, like, hey, I remember you from such and such.
Yeah.
And that's how it works. You
Yeah.
make connections, and then you're like, hey, how would you like to do, I want to form a group, and I want to do filming, and I need actors, I need writers, I need directors, blah, blah, blah. Next thing you know, you have a group to work with, and that's how it works.
Right. And, but be professional when you go to these things.
Mm-hmm.
Position yourself as a professional, not a fan. So, do your research beforehand. So if you say someone is going to be there, and maybe it's a famous person, don't go there and be like, oh my God, I love all your stuff. I watched all your film. They don't want to hear that. They've heard it 10,000. They don't care that they don't want a fan. They want a professional. So, I mean, I've met people, and I haven't talked about movies. I talked about, hey man, I know you're into football. You kind of played a year in college. They go, how do you know that?
Yeah.
You played a year. Oh, what was and you were a quarterback. Oh, I played quarterback too. And so we start talking about sports. We're talking about, oh, what's your favorite team? Oh man, dude, this and that. Before you know it, an hour goes by. We had not talked one word about movies, the industry, nothing. We connected on a personal basis. They appreciate that stuff. They desire normalcy.
That makes sense. Because they probably get a lot of fake people trying to sell shit, and they're all just like, hey, I remember you did this and this and this. I would love it if you jump on my script for this and that and this, rather than just getting to know the person and see what they're like, and then segueing into, hey, I got a script I think you'd be great for. Would you like to try out for? But maybe start out with a little more personality.
Absolutely. Now, in this day of age that we live in, it's social media day and age. You've got your popular platforms, your top 3 or 4. You've got Facebook, you've got Instagram, and you've got, stuff like X or Twitter, whatever you want to call it. And you've got all that stuff. You got online communities. Within Facebook, I like horror, so I type in horror, and then a bunch of stuff will come up. Like there's horror fanatics, horror hedonists, horror fan club, horror movies and chill, horror movie promotions. Well, that caught my eye because they promote indie filmmakers that are making movies, and they help spread the word. So I joined that group, and LinkedIn's a good one. Now, mainly LinkedIn is like start out as a profile of your professional profile. So, finding a job, blah, blah, blah. But if you go to my LinkedIn, Glenn Spillman, and you'll see every single person that I have connections with, which now is like, I just started it like last week, but I got almost 250 connections. Every single one of them is in the industry, whether they're a graphic designer, a photographer, a DP, a voice actor, an actor, a music composer, a songwriter, a singer, a saxophonist, whatever, I'm, a journalist, all these people are within the same sphere. Keep it tightened to that. Don't follow, Sally Mae, who teaches you how to make cherry pie in Georgia, because she may not dig what you're doing. So if you get people in the industry, they're gonna more apt to help you.
And I have one thing to say that I've said before: always keep an open mind. It doesn't matter how much experience they have; they might be exactly what you need, and you don't even know.
Exactly.
Extremely talented, and you're just going, "Oh well, how much experience do you have? Well, you haven't done anything really." But then they blow you away when they do a monologue or something, and you're like, "Oh my god!"
See, Carl,
where did that come from?
Is a bit. How you say? He is clairvoyant, maybe because he's reading my mind right now.
He is.
This is how we jam. I mean, we kind of feed off of each other because he kind of knows what road I'm traveling and where I'm going down to see in his experience. And in Quentin is different than Carl. Carl's different than me, and I'm different than both of them put together. I'm kind of, not all together, and but that's okay, I
think the same goes for Quentin though as well.
As Carl and Quentin said, build relationships, not just resumes. Meaning, back in the day, you card. Mm-hmm. Even today, when you go to mixers, oh hi, here's my Facebook. No, get to know people on a personal level. Because when someone sends you a headshot, that's nice. I appreciate that. But I want to know who you are. I want to know, why do you want to become, or how did you become an actor? There's this guy, I shit you not. His main thing is he wants to be a Godfather mafia boss. And he wants to be famous. That's his only reason to be in the entertainment world. That's it. Those are the type of people that don't want to work with. And I will, I don't want to say refuse to work with, but I will say I won't want to. If I have to, that's a different story. Focus on genuine connections. Like, for instance,
make sure you want to work with them.
And I mean, I've met some
get along.
I met some people from the Bay Area just recently, and I'm not going to name drop, ladies and gentlemen, so I don't know who's listening. But I met some people.
The world's listening.
The world, exactly. So I met some people, really good people. They're really hood people, and they cast them in a few hood movies, and I'm just like, hey, ever played a pimp before? No. Every time I play a pimp, no. And so they cast him in this one character as a person who's from the hood, and we did bids together, and basically they wanted me to act hood, and they know me but barely know me, and I'm like, I'm not the person I used to be. If you cast me 10, 15 years ago, I can be hood. I'm more of a dark now, so it took time. Building relationships, it takes time to get to know, to get out of your character. People who know you will cast you for the right roles.
Now, okay, let me pick that apart real quick. What do you mean by the right roles? So are you telling me that you only have a box and the box has roles in it and you will only do those roles? I'm just trying to get where you're coming from.
Right. No. So basically, like, I guess because it goes back to the last podcast we had. It's like, so basically, certain people that certain people I've been around, like, oh, you fit this role, you can only do this role and this role.
So you don't want to be typecast.
Yeah, I really don't want to be typecast.
Okay.
I like people who have layers, not just
think outside.
Yeah, think outside the box. Because I've been typecast as a goon so many different times. I played a hitman one time, so I was like, okay, I want to play roles that are like not me.
I'm gonna split that in half real quick.
Go ahead.
I'm gonna go on different sides of the coin, the yin and the yang. You bring up Denzel Washington a lot. You respect the guy, you quote the guy, you love the guy, but he is a versatile actor, is he not?
Oh, yeah.
He's played a pimp. He's played a mobster. He's played a crooked cop. He's played all these things. Now let's go on that flip side. Matthew McConaughey, when he started off, as all he did was rom-com. He, like you said, told his agent, he goes, I'm not doing it anymore. I don't want to be typecast. I am not doing another rom-com. Maybe in the future, but I want to do something with substance. I want to do a drama. I want to do. So, long story short, he didn't work for almost 2 years.
Yeah, I remember that.
And finally, he got into another, people are trying to get him into stuff, offer him, here's $1 million, oh, here's $2 million, here's $5 million, here's $10 million. He's like, nope. But he's done really good stuff like Lincoln Lawyer. He's done Wolf of Wall Street, Dallas Buyers Club. He won an Oscar for that.
And the Dark Tower with Idris Elba.
Right. So as an actor, you have that choice 100%. If you do not want to play certain roles, lift up your skirt, grab your balls, and say, "Hey, brother, I don't want to play that. This is who I want to play. I appreciate that you're doing this for me, but I would rather play. I don't want to be this. I'd rather play." Boom. I would rather hear that than to be like, a short answer, because I'm a word person. I listen to what you say. I analyze the words that you say, and I pick them apart. But if you come at me and be like, "Dude, I played this so many times. Can you just please maybe find me something?" Sure, yeah, I would do that. But work on other people's projects to prove your value. Ask for referrals from trusted contacts. So, like Carl, I trust Carl. So if Carl comes to me and says, "Hey, dude, there's this role that we wrote, and I got a friend of mine that I worked with 5 years ago. They're pretty cool. I think they would be perfect for this role." I would accept that person without even seeing them. If Carl vouches for them, I will trust his judgments and be like, and I will go, "Okay, yeah, do it. Yeah, cast him. Go for it. Let's do it." And then we'll work that way, because I have enough relationship with Carl. I've known Carl for over 10 years. And I've worked with him on a couple of my projects, and now we're working together on our own project. He has his sphere of influence. I have my sphere of influence. Quentin has his, Sassy has hers, people that they know have theirs. So it's kind of like a brick wall expanding out, 100 feet of all of these people that you could pick and choose from. Now, there are some people that I've slightly worked with that Quentin has introduced me to, that, and Carl's worked with these people as well, that didn't really jive. So we tell ourselves, yeah, I probably don't want to work with that person. And here's why: because you don't want negativity on set at all, at any point in time, from anybody.
Done that.
Because negativity on set could ruin the entire day. It could really, someone can get pissed off and be like, "Well, I ain't doing this anymore." So then you got to recast that individual and start all over again. So vet potential partners. When I say vet, I'm not talking about the doctor that works on animals. When you vet somebody, that's a fancy word for you research about them. So if you want to vet me, just type in my name in Google. I'm all over the internet. You can see stuff I've done. You can see interviews I've done, movies that I've done, candid stuff. So you can kind of see the kind of person I am. And then you can contact people and be like, "Oh, hey." So you can do interviews with people. Like, you don't have to meet, in this day and age, you can get on Zoom, you can get on, Messenger Live, or if you got iPhones, face of interview them. Say, "Hey, tell me, about your past work. So some of the problems you've encountered, skill solving, give them say if Quentin wants to be, we'll just say he wants to do some more director stuff. So I would give him a problem that would happen on set. It's not a matter of if it's going to happen. It's a matter of when it's going to happen. Just something simple like, okay, maybe you are working with a kid actor, and the kid actor, clams up and gives you, a little bit of a this and that. How are you going to deal with we'll say a 9-year-old kid in the scene?
I want my lollipop.
I say personally, because I've done this before on A Raven's Cry, I got down to the kid's level. I didn't talk over the kid standing up, because that's intimidating. I got down to the kid's level, face to face. I had him telling me a story. I calmed him down without him knowing about it. And so you get on the kid's level, or maybe, you've got, anything that can happen on a set. How are you going to handle it? So you want to get people's problem solving skills. How would they solve a problem with, you ran out of gaffer tape. So what do you use next? So if you have to hit a mark for just camera frame, instance where you walk in, you hit camera frame on that mark, you ran out of gaffer tape. What are you going to use? Something simple as that. So if you get their problem solving skills, then you go, oh, okay, I can understand how they think now. And when you're working with people, and I'm not saying every single time, but if you're working with somebody that says they're X, Y, and Z, check their references. Make sure they're reputable. Make sure they actually have done, because when I used to be a wedding photographer, I started out as a sports photographer, and then I was like, I was in a second shooter on a wedding one time. I'm like, I can do this. Well, everybody always asks, do you have a portfolio? I'm like, no, I don't. I just started. I have a sports, but they want like wedding stuff. So an acting portfolio. Hey, what's your acting reel? Hey, if they don't have an acting reel, then just do a video audition, or, or this and that and the other. Or if you're a special effects person, you should have pictures of some of your stuff. Like Carl with his acting in mind, we have acting resumes. So we put what we've done, the production name, the director, and what
we'll soon have to update.
Yeah. So understand roles, meaning if you when you're dealing with people, understand who you're talking to. Understand between agents, who gets paid via commission, and so for example, scammers. There's a lot of scams out there. That's a podcast in itself. But when they ask,
got taken for one of those.
When they ask for a lot of money up front, that's kind of a red flag.
I have a story to tell on that one.
Yeah, do it.
I was working in warehouse separate, but I mean, at the time, that's what was happening.
Right.
And I saw this ad to be in the next Jurassic Park movie, and I was excited. But they said that you had to pay money to get into the spot. You're paying for the spot of it. And I didn't even think about how you don't spend money for roles. They're supposed to pay you.
Mm-hmm.
And I swear to God, I knew all this stuff, but I was so thrilled. I completely blanked, and I was like, I'm going to do this. I'm just going to do this. I got to try. I want to be on Jurassic Park. I'm going to go for it. And luckily, I told someone about it because they got me to wake up from my daydream that I was having. Found out that the guy that was doing it was like a computer scam artist. He's like he like made up a fake website and everything. And he was basically stealing money from people.
Wow.
And I didn't submit because someone told me that, basically what I'm telling you, you don't pay to be on films.
Yeah.
You get paid for doing films.
Right.
And I was like, oh my God, that's right. Why didn't I think of that? I didn't even think about that. And I knew this. But for some reason, for that moment, my enthusiasm blocked out everything else. Yeah. So don't go for movies or series that ask you to pay anything because it's a scam.
Yeah, absolutely. It's called pay to play.
Yeah.
And don't do that because it is out there 100%. So when you're dealing with an agent, no matter what it is, whether it's a sports agent or whatever, because there are some people that I like that what I would like to act in my film for a certain reason. They're an athlete, but what is a sports agent or any agent? What are they mainly focused on?
Money, I would say.
Money, 100%. Because the more money that they can get for their actor, the more commission that they get. They don't care about the actor getting a job. They care about getting the money. So, where to find some of these people? Local film offices, schools, contact local film commissions, universities, with film programs and up-and-coming talent. So Carl segued this like 15 minutes ago, up-and-coming talent. So a lot of people in Hollywood, 100%, if you don't have a resume, they will not talk to you because they don't think you could act. That's a bunch of BS because Carl and I, we were when we're making these series, I'm like, oh my God, you know who would be perfect? Oh man, Jamie Lee Curtis would be awesome for this role. Or, this person, that person. He's like, oh dude, well, okay, but I mean, that's a lot of money, because they're like A-list actors. But I'm like, yeah, but they've worked on, independent films before. And if they agree, we just have to pay them scale. But, and it would be nice to work with Jamie Lee Curtis, but, we need to work with our own sphere here.
Mm-hmm.
I 100% told Carl, and Carl told me kind of simultaneously in the same conversation, in this film or series that we're doing, we want up-and-coming actors. We want the hungry people that are like wolves trying to devour a lamb in the middle of the field, ripping it apart. And we don't want the people that are divas and
how much money am I going to get for doing this project?
Yeah, that's the first question. I only want Evian water in my dressing room because if you don't, or Voss or whatever, and whatever. I mean, dude,
I want to make sure there's in my drawer.
Yeah,
I remember I did a casting call and I'm doing a casting call and someone said, well, I only do paid gigs. I'm like, then why are you? I'm sitting there, I don't want to tell the actor this, but I was in my head. Then why are you responding to this casting call if all you do is...
Did your casting call say not paid?
Yeah.
Oh, well, then there you go.
It said not paid in the big bold.
Well, he wanted to let you know that he really doesn't do non-paid gigs.
So he's wasting your time. He's wasting your time. Like, okay, for instance, I was talking about this before the show. During Carl and I's film series is very dark. It's very it deals with a lot of entity type. I won't get into it because I'm not going to tell you the who, what, when, how, and why.
You'll love it though.
If you want to know more, go to Facebook and join the Serial Killers movie group, and I will give you bits and pieces and spoon feed you. But I promise you this. And one guy says, well, I won't deal with anything that is this. And I'm like, that's what the movie's about, dude. But you responded knowing that's what the movie's about. The title's called Serial Killers.
Yeah.
I mean, what do you think it's about? It's not about walking hand to hand, swapping spit in the park.
Yeah.
It's a horror movie.
Sitting kittens in a movie or something.
And where's the character? Hold on to your love nuts.
So look at production listings. Use sites like Staff Me Up or Production Hub to find crew. And talk to friends. See if they've won awards or even nominations. Look at recent festival winners and award nominees to find performing or emerging established talent. Now, these are all bits and pieces I'm giving you. But you know what? Matthew McConaughey wasn't always Matthew McConaughey. He was just spit into a movie. He was given some direction. He made up that line. They didn't tell him to say it. He made it up, and it was off of a song from... So it's go look it up. He made it up, and now he's Matthew McConaughey, Academy Award winner. The Rock. He played football at the University of Miami. He moved. He wanted to. His dad was a wrestler. He wanted to be a wrestler. He didn't go pro football, which he could have. He ended up doing the. He made, when he was starting out, he was making $100,000 a year. But if you think, oh my God, that's a lot of money. No. If you think about it, and he does 100 shows a year, he's only making $1,000 a show. That's not good money. That's slavery. and think about the numbers. And it's not all about the money. It's all about how you start. You take all these things. So Carl and I know I joke and I jest and everything, but honestly, folks, I do want new talent. I want hungry people that want to act. I want up and coming sound person that wants to start a portfolio, that wants to start doing this. Because just because you start doing something from the ground up doesn't mean you're not good at that thing, whatever it is. It's like Quentin wasn't always Quentin. Quentin started out as a PA, a production assistant. He was a PA on a film set is basically a gopher. Hey, Quentin, I need this. Hey, Quentin, go tell the actors over here. Yeah. Hey, Quentin, this and that. So Quentin was constantly running around, squirrel, 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 doing all this stuff. And then I taught him how to slate. And then I taught him how to, now stand over Steve's shoulder, talk to him, ask him questions about DP
no joke.
And all that kind of stuff. So I taught Quentin directly and indirectly about the who, what, when, where, how, and whys. Carl here, he's going to make his directorial debut on one of the episodes of Serial Killers that we do. I'm going to let him pick whichever one that he wants. And I'm going to sprinkle him in every now and then. So I'm going to be in a scene. I'm like, okay, Carl, you're going to direct this scene. And I want you to, this is what you know. So get your feet wet. And he's going to do it little by little. And then he's going to put his big boy pants on and direct the whole episode all by himself. I'm going to step back into the wings. I'm going to be standing behind him. I'm going to be the bird in his ear. And if he has a question, he can ask. If he doesn't, that's fine too. So what I'm saying is go for people that look like you want to work with. Ask questions. Look at their social media. For instance, if you look at their social media, and if they are we'll just say anti-gay, and they're posting a bunch of anti-gay stuff on there, well, you don't want to work with that person in this certain realm of a film that you're doing because it maybe that subject matter's in it, or maybe it has a taste of it. Or if they're anti-gun, well, you don't want to put them in a Expendables movie. Like Sigourney Weaver was high anti-gun when she did Alien, and she had to be coerced and talked to and kind of do all that to do that. So when it comes to casting, it's not about having 1,000 people show up at a casting call and you sit there all day and do this and that. It's the other stuff. It is the behind the scenes people. It's like I worked before with Trish Tatterson, who is in the Sacramento film scene, and she got her a little taste on my film. And she was an actor in the film, and she helped with craft services. She was a genius in what she did. She was very, very helpful. And I've used her in many things, and I will continue to use her. I've built relationships with these people. So this is my sphere of people that I want to work with. So the right fit. So team dynamics, okay? Look for collaborative, adaptable, and positive individuals. Don't look for people like, yeah, no, I don't like that. Oh, no, I don't want to do that. For me. That's, I'm not going to, only what? Oh, yeah, only paid roles. So, okay. So I 100% want to pay everybody all the time, but sometimes that's not a reality. And I let people know, hey, it's an independent film. We only have a $2,000 budget. Now, everyone can get maybe $100, but we got to pay for, this head to be made. That's $500. And, we got to do this and that. But I do want everyone to get paid. Absolutely. But sometimes it's either not happening or it's very little. But if you go into that knowing it already, then everybody's on the same page. Don't ever, for those of you filmmakers out there, lie to somebody, because if you do, I swear to God, your reputation will go in the toilet that quick. Word will spread like wildfire, like holy hell across the prairie, and your name will be tainted in that town, and nobody's going to want to work with you again. So ensure that they understand the project's scope, budget, and creative vision. So, for instance, everybody that I'm casting in this film series, I let them know, hey, this is the subject matter that it deals with. There's going to be blood and guts. There's going to be some very graphic kill scenes. There's going to be some uncomfortable scenes. Are you okay with that? And if they say yes, great. If they say no, no harm, no foul. I'll just go find somebody else. No big deal. Mm-hmm. But you got to let people know. Don't let everyone know off the bat, because you don't want to give too much information about your project. Just give bits and pieces. Consistency. Look for professionals with solid track record in your specific niche. So niche, me, horror. So I want to find people within that realm. So Carl is going to give you a story now of someone that can I use the word admire? In the beginning, before you met this person, as an actor. You liked, not admire like, oh my God, but kind of like, hey, he's a good actor. Oh, that'd be cool to work with him.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So tell the story. He's not going to tell you any names.
I'm not going to get into specifics, but I'll give you the idea. Okay. You'll probably know who he is when I say what it is. I'm not going to say what the movie was, and I'm not going to tell you, anything too specific. Basically, I was supposed to be an extra on set. I showed up on set. He was drunk. He was the director. He's a well-known actor, and he's trying to do his directing thing. And I was treated horribly. There was a lot of jokes being made, and it was unprofessional. And unfortunately, I did not like the experience. I mean, and all in all, I didn't even really get any shot of me in there. I think there was like a corner of my head. So I felt disrespected. I didn't like it. I worked with him a second time on a different project, a different film. And it was kind of like I wasn't doing things right. There was no helpful criticism. I felt out of my league, first of all, because this is big stuff. I'm not used to working with big-time actors or anything. So it was my first time really diving into that kind of thing. And it's the same kind of thing, like, oh, I don't got anything. You didn't give me any good shots and this and that. And it just made me feel like crap. And then I wasn't even acting at this point. I was just trying to get through the day. And I was like, you know what? I just want to be done with this. And after that experience, I never wanted to work with him again. So I learned very early that you can't always work with people, everyone that you think you can.
Right.
Sometimes you have to cut ties and work with people that you get along with. Because in the end, you're not going to be yourself. You're not going to be able to bring yourself to the table. I couldn't even get my acting activated. That doesn't normally happen to me.
Yeah,
it shut me down completely. I was looking at myself when I was watching the film. Some parts, like in the beginning, I was a little bit in there. And then towards the end, after how I felt, it was like I was watching myself just standing there. And I was like, what are you doing, So you work with the right people and you get a comfort developed between them. I like to think and consider them like family or friends. That's the kind of people you can work with, not people that are stuffy, not people that are jerks who tell you what to do, who are mean, and because you're not going to produce the best part of yourself. So the best thing to do is cut ties with those people because they're toxic. And you're not going to, that way you'll showcase more of what you can do, and you'll be more open to what you can do and explore to grow better versus just, I don't know what I'm doing wrong, or why do I feel like crap? Why can't I do anything? Why can't I don't have any acting ability right now. You'll just shut down. You won't have anything to show.
Yeah, and get with people that are going to help you out. Meaning, if you work on a project, now I've worked with people. Now, over the years, I've been in this business since I was 8 years old. So I have developed introductions and friendships with very, very, very famous people, and everybody in between, their friends, their friends, their friends, their uncle, their aunt. And I met these people, this, that, and I've worked with them on films and all this stuff. So I have a collage of phone numbers, emails, addresses, all of this. Well, when certain things happen over the years, I delete this person here, because I don't want to work with them anymore, because they're toxic. Well, it was about 2 weeks ago. I went through my phone for a few reasons, but one of the reasons was I want to get rid of people that I haven't talked to in over 10 years, or that, say they're going to do something and never did. Off of Facebook and off of my phone, collectively, and other platforms, I delete over 600 people. And I've worked with projects recently to where I talked to the people. I'm like, hey, have you listened to XYZ yet? No. Have you seen XYZ yet? No. Well, these are things that this person was involved with. And I'm like, have you promoted what we're doing? Our companies, our thises and that's, and no. I'm like, what the F? And so if Carl and I are working on a project, and I said, hey, Carl, did you promote the casting call that I talked to you about, that us spreading the word? I mean, he didn't do it, but and he said, no, I didn't. I would be offended, be like, dude, it's our project. You're not even promoting it. So if you work with someone on a project, the best word of mouth is word of mouth. And social media helps and whatnot, but telling your friend, hey, go watch the YouTube podcast that they just did, because number one, it's going to help the algorithm, and number two, it's going to increase views and time, and it's going to help everybody. And then maybe, just maybe, the right person will see your project and be like, hey, I want to get a hold of Carl and Glenn. And because I have an actor that I did a film with. It was a film festival, and they didn't come to the film festival when it premiered. They never promoted it on Facebook or any other social media. They didn't talk about it, and they did all the things that you're not supposed to do. So I had vowed never to work with that person again. And they've applied for a few roles that I've put out there. And I'm like, nope, not going to happen. Because as a collective group, if you got 10 people in a group, and those 10 people each promote it to 10 people they know, that's 100 people. And then tell their friends, hey, man, help me spread the word. Because when you're an independent filmmaker, you rely on word of mouth. You rely on your sphere of influence. Now, Carl and I, we're going to do crowdfunding on Indiegogo. And the first people I'm going to talk to are friends and family. Hey, can you donate $1, just $1 to our cause? And if we get 1,000 people to do $1, that's $1,000. And then they tell their friends, no, that's 2, then 5, and 10,000. Because as Carl said, it's easier to ask someone for $1 than it is for $1,000. Everyone's got $1. They don't care about $1. Hey, just promote this, the podcast. Tell your friends to go listen. If they like it, go to Apple Podcasts, leave a little quick review. Give us the star rating, because that increases, again, the algorithm. Everything's an algorithm. Share. If you're friends with me on Facebook, if I post something, share it. It goes to your Facebook, and then other people might share it, so on and so forth. Like I do these reels that I put up on Facebook every now and then, every day kind of. They're 15-second reels. And the other day I did one, and it got over 500 views in an hour, because I told a friend of mine, hey, share this on your Facebook, and tell your friends to share it on their Facebook. And within 1 hour, I had 500 views. Those little things, those little people will help you do things. When you're working with actors, don't get divas. When you're working with crew and actors, make sure they're on time. If someone's like, oh man, now I'm a father, dude. I got 2 small kids, 7 and 9 years old. stuff happens every now and then.
Yeah.
A kid gets sick. Like one day I brought my kids to the podcast because I had no other choice. I could either told Carl I can't do it, which is BS, because I always do what I say I'm going to do, or I bring them. Well, I brought them. They were kind of cool, but at the end, they were jumping around, bouncing on the couch, and blah, blah, blah.
They're sweet kids. I love these kids. Are sweet
It's a
kids.
disaster. But don't be like, oh,
Little hellions.
my girlfriend didn't want me to go because the girl and I, we have this scene, a bed scene. Now it initially shows it, but nothing happens on camera. But it's an initial, you know what's going to happen, but we don't film it.
Yeah.
Well, the girlfriend says, "Well, I don't want you doing that."
You film them having sex.
Yeah, you ain't doing that.
Insinuate.
That you're my man. You don't want that kind of drama. So you ask them, hey, is your partner going to be okay with you doing this film? I worked with a guy on a film. To this day, I got to go pick up the footage. It's been how many years?
For
A Raven's Cry. 2017? 8 or 9 years. And his wife is a religious fanatic. She's like, I don't want that stuff on my house computer, blah, blah, blah. She refused to let him edit the film, and it pissed me off. I've talked to him. He's afraid to talk to me now sometimes, but I don't work with him anymore because he's unreliable, excuses, this and that. So it's a friendship that kind of dissolved. And sometimes, like Carl said, that's going to happen. Now, I've known Quentin since
2015, 2016.
Yeah, about 2015. So 10, almost 11 years. Has Quentin and I always seen eye to eye? No. Have I scolded Quentin through text? Absolutely. Carl sometimes like, you're a little rough there. Carl's a nice guy here. I say I'm the bad cop, you be the good cop. But no, what I'm saying is I've never like X Quentin out of anything. Now I've scolded him friendly, the best way that I know how. And even though the best way I know how seems a little bit, off sometimes. But that's okay because we're friends. If I don't tell him how I feel, he's not going to know. So what I'm saying is build your tribe, build your crew, build your family. And then you'll notice you'll start working with the same people over and over. It's like Gary L. Turner that I know. He's going to work on our film series. He is a stunt coordinator. He's a martial artist, so he's going to help me with the fight scene. Carl is also a martial artist, so he's going to help with, how to throw a punch, how to take a punch, how to maybe do a leg sweep. I don't know that shit. He does. So if I need, we'll just say, hey Quentin, do you know these type of people? What? No matter what it is, sign language. Quentin knows people that do sign language. So if I say, hey, I've got an actor that I need, whether they're deaf or not, I just want them to know sign language. Do you know of anybody? Well, either he can do it himself or he knows somebody. So I'm saying use your sphere of influence. But everybody you work with, from actors to craft services, sounds, DP, all this, make sure you guys have a vision, the same vision. Because when you're building a script and you're breaking down a script and you're making a shot list, you got to work with the DP.
Yes.
DP gives you their vision, you give them your vision. You got to break down whether it's a long shot, whatever shot it is, you guys have to agree cohesively. Because if there's tension in the beginning, there's going to be tension throughout the at least episode. And at the end of the episode, you may both be like, hey, let's just agree not to work with each other again. Then you got to go and find another one to do the next one. So to make your life easier, ladies and gentlemen, don't rush into finding someone because you have to have it now. It's like I'm casting right now, but we're not going to film until probably when, you think? Probably
after maybe the third season that we're finished.
No, filming the first episode
of Serial Killer.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Oh, that's what I'm saying. Maybe when we're done with the third.
Oh
season.
yeah. So we might
Yeah.
not film until later on this year. But if we have it cast right now and have everyone locked in and all of our actors locked in, that way they could learn their lines and all this stuff. So there'll be no excuse about anything that has to do with the film. So that's pretty much, I know I sometimes can get long-winded, but if I give you every little detail, you guys will appreciate the information that you get. Hopefully you use it. And Quentin's been lucky. He's worked with people that he's liked. Carl's worked with people that he hasn't really appreciated. I've definitely been on both sides of the spectrum.
Yeah, I've been on both sides of the spectrum.
Yeah, same. I've worked with
You know?
people I've liked too, but every now and then I'll get people that I don't like.
And also too for the people who like just I mentioned that for myself and from other podcasts too. Don't go into business thinking, oh, I'm gonna make it big instantly. No, just honestly, just
Put in the work.
just put in the work, create art, and if you're starting really small, that's kind of honestly, that's honest to God, that's all you need. Just get a camera, get some editing software, get a slate. A script can be one page to maybe 5 pages. Start there,
Yeah.
and and also too, consistently work on learning how to build a 3-arc film. And your feature will take time. Even your short will take time. Sometimes a cinematic skit, look at that, will take time because I'm writing several of them right now. And as much as I want to film tomorrow, I can't. But my encouragement to all of you guys, just start small. If you have to start by yourself, just do everything by yourself and put in the work.
Yeah.
And you'll see 1 by 1, 2 by 2. Like, oh my God, I got 20 people working with me.
Yeah.
I'm going to give one last example of someone that we've all worked with. And when we started this podcast, I had a friend of mine, and her name's Casey, and she lives in Texas. And she said, oh, wow, that sounds exciting. I want to help you guys. So we put her on speakerphone, and we talked for like 45 minutes on the phone. And we said, hey, this is what we're doing. And she's like, oh, I could do this. I could do the covers. I could put it up here and there. But after the second podcast, she goes, well, I'm like, hey, you said that you were going to do X, Y, and Z. Is it done yet? It's been 2 weeks. She's like, no, I haven't had time. And she doesn't like have a normal job. So she had the time. But I finally pulled it out of her why she didn't do it. She's like, because I'm not getting paid. I'm like, none of us are getting paid. You knew that going into this. We didn't blindside her. She knew we were building something from the ground up. So finally she quit doing it. And presently right now, I don't talk to her anymore. I've deleted her from all of my social media, all of that stuff. But what she knew how to do, I taught myself. So now these logos that you see on Facebook and all the stuff for serial killers, I made those. It's like Quentin taught himself how to edit. He taught himself how to whatever he taught himself sign language, for God's sake.
I'm learning another language. I'm learning to teach myself Swahili as well.
Carl has taught himself how to do stuff. So learn how to do other things. So if someone either can't do it or doesn't do it or whatever, so you go, oh, okay, I could do it. So boom, boom, boom.
Yeah.
So learn as much as you can.
You can't be scared.
Yeah. Yeah. Don't be afraid to fail, because when you fail, you'll learn something. You learn what not to do, But again, this has been an hour and 22 minutes, longest podcast so far. I want to thank everybody for viewing live on YouTube. I want to thank everybody for listening online and everywhere else that you listen to. Now you can find us on any pod. We're on over 40 podcast platforms. The main ones are that you'll know is Apple, Spotify, iHeartRadio, all that. You can type in a rising star podcast. You could even just type in Glenn Spillman or Carl O'Leary. It'll pop up because we're the hosts of it. Go follow us on Facebook. Cellar 13 Films community. Go check out cellar13films.com if you want to learn more about us and the movie that we did, and hush little baby that he starred in, and which actually won a few awards in film festivals. So I bid you guys adieu. Have a good day, and never stop creating. All right, so we'll piece you guys out later. Everybody that is listening on the audio version, I just